Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. Today we're going to be covering discipline. We actually already did an episode on discipline, but we think it's super important, and we have some new ideas and new things to share with you guys. So we're just going to bounce back and forth and give you guys as much knowledge and tips and tricks on how to get motivated, as well as the difference between motivation and discipline when it comes to reaching your goals, and not just reaching your goals, but living a healthier and fit lifestyle. You can't just set a short-term goal and reach it and then live the rest of your life healthy. You've got to stay disciplined and learn the habits necessary to sustain those results for the rest of your life. So whoever wants to start, we'll go ahead and share ideas.
So one thing starting off is discipline is a big part of mindset. So changing the way you perceive different obstacles or just different things in your life, the story that you tell yourself, your identity, that all plays into whether you're going to succeed or whether you're not going to reach your goals. A big part of that is, let's say someone's at a party and someone gets offered a piece of pie and they say, oh, I can't eat that, I'm doing a diet, I'm trying to lose weight, whatever. Versus a person that says, oh, I don't want the cake, just because it doesn't align with their goals. The difference is when a person says I can't, it's a restricted mindset, and it leads to them wanting to rebel against that, wanting to bend. It's like telling a kid, no, you can't have that candy, then the kid wants it even more. And then if you say I don't, then you're identifying with not eating the cake. You're saying I don't eat that because I'm a healthy person, I'm chasing my goals. You're reaffirming that positive identity. And that also kind of plays into taking ownership of what you do instead of blaming on the person that offered you the cake or having the cake there. A person could say, oh, well, I had the cake because it was there, and I don't have the willpower or whatever. Instead of taking ownership and said, well, I'm the person that took the cake and put it in my mouth. They're giving their power away. So by being disciplined, you actually take your power back, and you're able to say no, it was my fault. I did this, and I can now correct it, because otherwise, if you blame everything on external factors that you can't control, then you can't fix it. So just take your power back and make sure that you're identifying with what you want to be instead of restricting yourself.
Yeah. So a lot of people say, well, I'm not motivated, or people ask us all the time, well, how do you find motivation to work out every single day? We're not. Motivation is just something that you might get for a very short period of time. Something might motivate you to get to the gym in the first place. Whether that's seeing somebody else do it or whatever it is, something can motivate you to get started, but that motivation does not stick and is not there every single day. I found a quote that said, motivation gets you going, but discipline is what keeps you growing. So when you ask us how we're able to get in the gym and work out every single day, it's because we're disciplined. It's because, we tell ourselves we have to get our workouts in every single day. I remember being in college when I first started working out, and having a lot of friends who would want to go do this and that, go out and go to dinner, or go to a party, or whatever it was. And I'm not saying I didn't go do those things, because I did. But I told myself and I told my friends, I have to get my workout in before I can go to do whatever you want to do. And a lot of people thought it was weird. They thought, okay, that's stupid. Why do you have to do your workout? But it was what I had to tell myself to make sure that I got it done every single day. It wasn't always easy. It still isn't always easy. And today, I make sure that my workout is part of my workday. My workday is not over until I get my workout in. And I even did that when I was still in school, before I even worked at a gym. Even if it's only 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I need to move my body every single day, or my job is not done, because that is part of taking care of yourself and just getting done what needs to be done every single day.
Yeah, a lot of clients come and think that motivation and discipline are the same thing, or really similar things, and they think that it's motivation that's going to keep them coming back every week. And I always like to say motivation on average lasts a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then after that discipline takes over. So to stay disciplined, it's mostly by creating habits. And I just finished reading Atomic Habits. I know you read it, and I think you read it too. A great book about how just starting with small little habits implemented to each day, like that's how you build and get more discipline and stay with something. So like I want to speak on how important a small habit can be. Like one of those smallest habits that has changed my life the most was going for a walk every day. I didn't set a time goal or a distance goal to walk every day. I just walked, and it slowly became something that I did every single day, no matter the weather, no matter what I felt like. Nothing got in the way of that. And then now I just do it every day, and I enjoy it. It's the time I decompress. I think about a lot of different things. I find my most creativity. I know like you guys feel like that when you work out also. So there's a lot of good things that come from staying disciplined and building those habits. But we're not motivated people all the time. Like granted, we do get motivation in some instances and from certain things, but it goes quickly. It fades quickly. It's not always going to be there. And I just want to speak on how important building that small habit, that discipline is in not only working out and nutrition and that type of thing, but just overall in life, like being a good person. It takes discipline. It takes you working at it. So I want to talk about, like, I thought that was kind of the difference between discipline and motivation. Is you're motivated to go get there and do something, but the discipline is what keeps you coming back and keeps you wanting more almost. So I know that's something that we all struggle with, but no one really understands.
No, yeah, for sure. And we as humans are naturally, we want to be as comfortable as possible. So, we want to just sit on the couch all day and watch Netflix and eat, candy or popcorn, whatever makes you comfortable. And that's actually one of the biggest problems in our society, and why we're so unhealthy, is because a lot of people are doing that. They just want to be comfortable, and food helps comfort you. That's why it's called comfort food or whatever. So we need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And you might be able to relate to this. Austin said we're not naturally disciplined. We're not naturally motivated. But I will say, on the days that you do accomplish a lot of things, like you went to work and you cooked and you cleaned and you did laundry and you did all these things, you're gonna feel accomplished and satisfied at the end of the day, compared to if you just sat on the couch and watched Netflix all day. You're gonna feel like you failed that day. So by being disciplined and actually doing those tasks, although you didn't want to do it and it was uncomfortable, you were disciplined and you did it regardless, you're gonna feel accomplished and more satisfied and overall happier because you did those things. I know it's true for me. I cannot even go one day of sitting and doing nothing without going nuts, thinking that I failed that day and feeling unaccomplished. So hopefully most of you guys can relate to that. If not, we need to help you guys get motivated. But going with that, I think you guys we need to try to get you all to understand the importance of developing this discipline, especially when it comes to health and fitness. We live in a society where we have access to unhealthy foods and drinks at literally every corner we live on. We are in an environment that is set up to make us fail and make us unhealthy and overweight and things like that. So you really, really need to find the thing that's going to motivate you. So, losing 20 pounds is a good motivator, but you need to find the reasons to actually continue doing it and developing the discipline to get past just that goal. So, for example, I needed some habits that I wanted to practice. So me and Bethany, we did this challenge called the 75 Hard Challenge. You had to go 75 days where you didn't steer away from a meal plan. You had no junk food or cheat meals. You had to work out twice a day. One of them had to be outside, which I had never done before. You had to drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages of a book, and you had to take a progress picture every day. And we started out doing that, and it was very, very hard, but it was also very satisfying, and I felt super accomplished starting to do those things and learning those habits. And, like Caitlin said, this stuff isn't easy for us. Just because, when you see us, we're these fitness people and this is what we live for, this is our career and our job. It doesn't mean it's easy and we always look forward to it. We just know the importance of it, so we make sure we plan it and we make sure we make the time for it. It's an investment in ourselves. It's no different than getting up and going to work. We consider it part of our workday because it's super important. And as we were going through this challenge, I was learning these habits. I was able to say no to certain foods. I was able to say no to drinking alcohol. I was able to work out outside regardless of the weather or if I wanted to. So it was a very, very cool learning moment for us, and you just keep doing it, and all of a sudden those habits become easier. And I will admit, I actually did not finish the challenge. So I made it 50 straight days, and due to poor planning and circumstance, I knew that I wasn't able to finish, and so I failed. But I could have took it as a failure and beat myself up. But instead, I looked back on the last 50 days and I said, you know what, I gave it all my effort. I learned a ton of habits. I learned what I'm capable of, and I adopted those habits, and I will still use them moving forward. And I think too many people start something because they're motivated, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds, and then they only lose 10, and they beat themselves up and they give up. When in reality, they should be looking at themselves and saying, you know what, I did it. I lost 10 pounds. Even though you didn't make it to the goal, I didn't make it in 75 days, I still put in the effort. I still learned a lot. I still made a ton of progress in my health, in my fitness, in my goals. Even though I failed, I don't think of it as a failure. I think of it as an opportunity to learn and grow and use what I learned to move forward and become better in the future. So that is kind of part of discipline as well. You're gonna have failures or obstacles, but it's your ability to push through and do the things that you don't want to do on days that you don't want to do it. There was definitely days where we don't want to go outside and work out in the rain. I went, I think, 3 or 4 times for a run in the rain for 45 minutes. And honestly, when you're done, it's like the most rewarding thing ever. You feel super, super accomplished. So my biggest tip for you guys is the days that you don't want to do something that you know you should, do it anyways. Show up, put in the work. Don't be a sissy, basically. Okay? You don't just wake up and be like, oh, I don't want to go to work, so I'm not done. It's like you wake up, you don't want to go to work, but you still go to work. And once you get there, you're over it. It's fine. It's not a work day. Here's another great example. I had a client come in, and I've been training him for like 5 years, and he said, I don't know how you're always motivated. I don't know how you work out every day. It's so hard for me to get in here and do it. And I only do 30 minutes. And I'm like, it is hard for me too. And I explained to him, I said, there's days where I do not want to work out. Like, it's the last thing I want to do. But I drink my pre-workout, I start stretching. Once I start working out, it's over. I enjoy the workout from that point on. It's no longer I don't want to work out. Just got to get started. And so I knew that, he's a pilot. So I said, do you love flying? Do you enjoy flying? He said, oh yeah, I love it. I'm like, are there days that you don't want to go to the airport? He's like, oh yeah, it happens all the time. There's things I got to do, or there's, I'm just tired or whatever. I don't feel like going. I said, right, but then when you get there, you get in a plane, you start flying, you're fine, aren't you? And he said, yeah. So I said, the hardest part about motivation and discipline is just getting there. It's just literally putting your workout clothes on and driving to the gym is the hardest part about working out for an hour. It's not the hour workout or the exercises that you have to do. It's not the Metcon. It's not any of that. It's literally just the 2 seconds that it takes to put your workout clothes on, get in your car, and go to the gym. That's the hardest part, and that's what separates people that are disciplined and not disciplined. So, that's what I have for now.
So some of the things that I kind of took away from 75 Hard, I failed after 35 days and had to restart. And I'm currently on day 38, so it's been a long time. So some of the things that I've kind of taken from this, especially the second time around, there's been a lot of of my thoughts, inner thoughts of you've been doing this for so long, you've learned so much, you're able, you can stick to a diet and say no to things for so long, you know how to do things, what's the point anymore? And it's I just know that I will be disappointed in myself if I stop now. If I don't finish, I don't know, I'll be disappointed if I don't. And I'll feel like I wasted the last 70, 80 days. And so that's just my mindset about it. And it's having a zero options mentality at this point where I'm like, I will not fail. Like if I have to work out late, like I'm fine with making that sacrifice. That's just for me personally though. Like everyone has different goals and motivations and reasons why they're doing things. And like, I just, no matter what, like if I'm tired, if I'm sore, if I don't want to do my workout, like I still have to get in here and get it done. Otherwise I have to start over. So like that's the biggest thing is like, I'll be sore, but then once I get warming up, I actually feel fine. And I'm like, I don't know if I can lift that much weight today. Like I'm not feeling super strong. My work, warming up and I'm, not feeling great. But then once I get doing it, I'm like, oh, I can do it. It was just all in my head. Like there's so much that your mind just kind of lies to you about, and you have to learn to separate like your mind trying to make you comfortable. And on the days where that happens, they're like the test days where it's like, are you actually dedicated to these goals? And this is what's going to set you apart, and that's what's going to get you there is on the days when it's hard, on the days you don't want to, that's when a lot of people will give up or they'll skip a day or something and like take pride in knowing that, hey, I still came in even though I didn't want to, and this is what's going to get me to my goal. It's not on the days when we're motivated, because everyone can do what they want to do when they're motivated. It's on the hard days. That's like a really big thing, just to like you grow so much mentally from that. Like on the one, there's an outdoor workout I did. I ran 4 miles in 40. It ended up being 50 minutes, and it was raining and it was cold, and I was like, the whole time I'm like, man, like this is crazy. People must think I'm crazy, but I like it. It's really weird, just because it's like, you don't see any other person out there running. It's like you get this really big sense of accomplishment of like, people that come in and work out late at night after working 12 hours, like they get this sense of accomplishment from it, of doing the hard things. And then kind of along what you're talking about with, it's our job, almost like our job as trainers to work out. It's about like setting an example for other people and just like not necessarily taking it to the extreme, but just knowing that you can push yourself more, and then it elevates everyone else. Like, using other success for your motivation, I think is really crucial. Like I look up to professional athletes and say like, okay, this is what they're doing, this is their mindset, they work out so much, and just striving to be like excellent like them. And everyone else looks up to different people for different things. And I just hope that us as trainers can be like that source of motivation for other people. Like they see us in here dying after a Metcon and like just drenched in sweat or like dying on the floor, and like we kind of hope that that gives them motivation to also strive for that as well. Maybe people don't find that motivating, maybe it scares them a little bit, but whatever works for people.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you're never gonna get through a super hard workout and regret doing it. You will never say, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Like, I'm dying, like, I wish I didn't do that. No, you're gonna say, I'm dying, holy crap, I just did that. Like, I feel so good. So that's kind of what you just have to remind yourself when you're not motivated or you don't feel like working out. Just remind yourself that you are going to feel so much better at the end of it. You're going to feel so accomplished. Like you did it when you really didn't want to. And then, just like look up, like surround yourself with people who motivate you. I know I said motivation isn't going to keep you going, but it can help you on those hard days. Like these 3 all motivate me every single day to get my workout in when I don't feel like it. Like I watch Bethany and Taylor go crazy with their CrossFit stuff and their Metcons, and I'm motivated to push myself a little harder. I see Austin, who is, he works out and does a lot of his strength stuff, and then he's really good about doing like the stretching and recovery, active recovery type stuff, and so that, motivates me and reminds me that that's important too. Like it's important to push yourself and kill yourself, but also take that time to restore your muscles and stuff like that. So another thing with like discipline, this goes through all areas of life. It's not just with working out. Discipline really is just doing the hard things no matter what that is. So for me personally, like, I don't know, do you have that quote? Okay, so Yeah, so there's this quote by Dr. James, however you say his last name. It says, building muscle is hard, so most are physically weak. Starting a business is hard, so most work jobs they hate. Saving money is hard, so most are always broke. Being hungry is hard, so most are overweight. Reading books is hard, so most are glued to screens. Do the hard things. And that is so true. Nothing worth it in life is easy. Everything great you accomplish in life is going to be hard. And you know, I've used this example before, and my story is very long. I could go on for an hour talking about just my own discipline in my life and the hard things I've had to go through. But long story short, if you guys don't know this, I have an autoimmune disease I was diagnosed just over a year ago with. And you know, these doctors just wanted to put me on all these crazy medications that, you know, eventually probably were going to make me sicker in the long run. They were just going to mask my symptoms. They weren't actually going to cure me. And so I decided to do my own research, be my own advocate, and say, okay, what can I actually do to heal myself and not just cover up the symptoms? And so now my life is way different than it was a year and a half ago. I can't eat dairy, I can't eat a lot of gluten, I can't eat a bunch of foods because they cause inflammation in my stomach and cause ulcers and all that good stuff. Yeah, it's hard not eating dairy. It is hard not eating cheese. It is hard not eating ice cream. It is hard to just, you know, stay away from all those foods. But it is worth not being in pain every single day. It's worth not being in the hospital, not being put on steroids because my condition is so severe. You know, it's hard some days to get up and work out, but that also helps decrease my inflammation in my gut and my colon and intestines and all that fun stuff. So discipline goes beyond just working out, but in all areas of your life, you get to choose your hard. So I can either, you know, be on these medications that mask my symptoms and still be in pain because they don't actually work, or I can choose to do the hard things, stay away from the things that hurt me, and, you know, live a life where I can enjoy it and still be around people and not be in misery all the time.
Yeah, I think they hit the nail on the head. I think staying disciplined, you'll never regret it. So stay disciplined. Don't focus on motivation, but also, like you guys said, stay around the people that do motivate you because that's a great thing on those bad days.
You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So pick who you're spending your time with too. You know, if you're hanging out with people that are unmotivated and aren't moving you forward, pushing you forward, you should take a look at, you know, if they're worth spending your time with, if you want to grow and exceed. So I just thought I'd add that on since you said that. But I want to take a step back a little bit and kind of talk about, okay, we're talking about motivation and discipline to reach your health and fitness goals, but why should you even care? Why do you need to work out? Why do you need to eat healthier? And the fact is, we are overfed, undernourished, and over-medicated society with little to no effect on actual health. People are getting sick much younger, and we keep doing the same thing. We write more prescriptions that don't work and only help the drug companies. And that's actually a very sad fact, especially in our nation. We're not taught how to eat healthy. We're not taught the importance of exercise when we grow up. We're taught to trust our doctor. You go to them, they write you a script, that's how it is. And unfortunately, that's like putting a Band-Aid on. It's not preventing or curing the problem. Whole food, you know, sunlight, getting, you know, water intake, getting a good night's sleep, all that stuff is actually the medicine that we need. And so I just want to explain to you guys, most people live a day-to-day life, as in they're not thinking about 10 years from now. They're not even thinking about a year from now. They're literally thinking about tomorrow or a week. They're living a very short-term lifestyle, and then all of a sudden, life, you know, smacks them in the face, and they get diagnosed with some disease, or they die of a heart attack, or whatever. Something crazy happens. Literally happens all the time. And we are here to try to get people to think about that long-term. Okay, where do you want to be 10 to 15 years from now? And for those people that do have children and kids, you need to be thinking about, you know, set your ego aside. Like, You know, especially for the guys out there, like the dads, like thinking that they're rocking the dad bod, and it's like this trend to be overweight as a dad. It's like, you know, you're going to be faced with issues in the future, so you kind of need to wake up and get disciplined and actually take care of yourself. Unfortunately, we live in a world where you have to exercise. There is no other way to stay healthy anymore. It's just because of the world we live in now. You know, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, beyond that, it was manual labor jobs. Everybody grew their own food in the garden. You know, there was no highly processed foods and foods with preservatives and a fast food restaurant every corner. So unfortunately, they, you know, were healthier. They at least were in better physical shape. And in the world, with the access to the technology that we have, the world that we live in, we should be really healthy. We should be able to live a super healthy lifestyle, but it's just not the case. We're faced with, you know, highly processed foods and foods with added sugars and things that are literally killing us, and there's nobody telling you to do anything different because big pharma and food industry are making billions of dollars off of us getting unhealthy and dying. That's kind of a sad fact. So you need to look at yourself in the mirror and ask, do you want to be the next person that gets developed, you know, a disease and dies an early death, or potentially risk that lifestyle anyways, or do you want to consider yourself a fit and healthy person and do everything that you can to make sure that you're going to be there for your family and kids 20 years from now or however long? So you have to adopt the healthy and fitness identity. You have to make it part of who you are. Like we said earlier, you can't just say, I can't do this because I'm doing this challenge. You should say, I don't do that because I am a fit and healthy person. I don't go and get fast food every day because I am a fit and healthy person, and fit and healthy people don't do that. That's literally as easy as it gets. I go for a walk every morning because that's what fit and healthy people do. I work out 3 days a week because that's what fit and healthy people do. You have to make this stuff a part of your lifestyle. And once you understand that, discipline is easy. It's super easy to just wake up because you just naturally do it. It's like brushing your teeth, going to work, doing the dishes, doing laundry. Like I said, it becomes a part of your lifestyle, it becomes easier, and you also feel that self-accomplishment, and you feel like you actually did stuff that day. Like I said earlier, like when you don't do anything in a day, although it's nice to have those days sometimes, usually, you know, if you did it like 3 days in a row, by the third day, you're like, okay, I need to do something in my life. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're just sitting there chilling and waste 3 days, like you don't feel very accomplished. So once you actually do build this structured lifestyle and you make health and fitness and wellness part of your identity, and you do the things on a daily basis, you're going to feel 10 times better about yourself. So my biggest tip is literally just show up every day, try to get a little tiny bit better every single day, and it will compound over time. And you will all of a sudden be at a point to where you're like, I didn't even have to think about going to the gym today. I didn't have to think about meal prepping today. I didn't have to think about eating a healthy lunch today. You know, it just becomes who you are. You become a fit and healthy person. And if you want to be fit and healthy, these are just things that you have to do. It's no different than, you know, I like to compare it to investing. Like if you put, you know, $100 in the stock market today and you check tomorrow and you didn't make anything, you give up. You can't do that. You have to put it in there and just let it grow. Same thing with showing up and just doing the exercises every day and eating healthy. You're not going to get results that you want in 2 weeks, but if you did it for 2 years, you're going to see exponential growth and get exponential results. It's the exact same thing. You are investing your time and you're investing your effort, and after so many days, day in and day out, it's going to compound over time, and you're going to get better and better every day. So, biggest thing is use those little things as motivation to get you started, but like she had said earlier, motivation gets you going, discipline keeps you growing, right? So by continuing with it and just putting in the work, showing up every day, you will grow and you will achieve your results. It might take a year, 2 years, 10 years, but you will get there. It's just a matter of literally showing up every day. And I will say, I love working out with people, so I've had literally dozens of workout partners, and a lot of them were just my really good friends from school. And you know, we started out in high school and college, and I worked out with all these different people. And the reason that I've gotten better results than everybody isn't because I'm, you know, like physically gifted. I didn't have the best genetics. It wasn't. It's only the only reason is because I never quit. I literally showed up where I had never gone more than a week without working out since I was 16. So 11 years. I just showed up, worked out consistently, never given up. There are people, I can literally tell you, there are people probably in my own gym that are 10 times more genetically gifted and have more strength. They could be 10 times a better athlete than I am. But the fact of the matter is I just put in more hard work. And that's kind of what I pride myself on, and I try to use that as fuel to inspire everybody else. Lead by example is a big thing that I want to do. I don't want to be the trainer that doesn't work out and tells people what to do to work out. You know, I want to be the guy that is killing himself and then putting his clients through a similar workout, because I'm not going to do it if I'm not making my clients do it. So I just wanted to add that on, because you know, the consistency in just telling yourself that it's not a choice of, do I want to go do this, or you know, I don't really feel like it, I'm a little bit too sore, maybe I should take a week off, or you know, those are just noise in your head. That's just noise. That's your body trying to tell yourself to get comfortable. And unless you really, really need like a rest day, like if you did an extremely hard workout week for 6 days straight and your body's beat up, obviously rest days are important, but you really don't need more than one rest day a week. You know, I would say we do very hard workouts. I'm working full body every day, 6 days a week, and once you get warmed up and get going, you're fine. It's just literally getting going. Like I said, that's the hardest part. It's showing up to the gym. My habit that literally gets me to work out every day is my pre-workout. Once I mix that up and drink it, there's no turning back, because I'm not going to sit there and itch my face off or like go nuts on caffeine and not work out. So like, if I don't feel like working out, I'm like, I'm just gonna mix this up and drink it, and then I don't have a choice. Like, screw you, Taylor, you're working out today. So that's my habit, and a lot of people don't need that. They can just, you know, if they get dressed and get in their car and show up, that's what we're here for. We push you through the workout. All you gotta do is show up, basically. So that is our little take on motivation, discipline, showing up, willpower, and it all comes down to understanding why you've got to do it. Okay, so why do you need to show up to the gym every day, or not even to the gym? Just go for a walk every day. Anything to just move your body and exercise, and actually getting outside and getting some sunlight could be the best thing for you. So start small and grow from there. Like I said, if you'll grow over time and you get better over time, you can add more things in over time. The biggest thing is just getting started and staying consistent and sticking with it. So build that discipline, adopt the habits, and you will reach your goals, and you will live a happier, healthier lifestyle, there's no doubt. So I think that's all for today. If we missed anything, we will leave it in the description or make another video on discipline, who knows. But until then, if you need help with the workouts, if you're ready, if you're motivated to achieve a goal or whatever it may be, don't hesitate to reach out. If you're somebody that's already coming here and you know somebody that really needs help, but maybe is too nervous or scared to reach out, maybe you should be the person that reaches out and just says, hey, you know, come and try this with me. I think you'll really like it. Because I think when people get into the door, like I said, that's the hardest part. Once they get here and experience it and they get to know us, they get a little feel for what we do, I think they'll really, really love it, and then they might change their whole entire life. So if you're somebody that is regularly watching this show of ours, please spread the word and tell people about it, because word of mouth around here in our small town is definitely the best way to reach new people and help people live a happier, healthier lifestyle. So until then, have a wonderful day and stay healthy. Okay?